The next thing, the chloroplast. The next structure is chloroplast. The chloroplast is found only in the plants. Important thing, it's only present in the plants, algae, and in some bacteria. It's not present in animal cells. It is not present in humans. It is not present in any other animal cells. It's a characteristic organelle present particularly in plants, in algae, and in some bacteria. Not all bacteria, but in some bacteria. It's absent in animals. Chloroplast is a chamber. It's a very complex chamber, like mitochondria. It's somehow similar to mitochondria. I can tell you. You will see. It's a very complex structure which contains a pigment called chlorophyll. And that chlorophyll is the pigment. Its color is green. And it has a potential to capture the energy present in the sunlight. This is the actual origin of life on the planet Earth. Life means the execution and having the metabolic chemical reactions in a synchronous way. This structure, chloroplast, is the only place on the planet Earth. This is the only place on the planet Earth where the life is able to harvest the energy from the outside. बाहर से सिर्फ एक ही energy आ रही है, only one sort of energy is coming from outside the planet, and that energy belongs to the sunlight. It's the sunlight. So the sunlight, when enters is captured by the things present in the chloroplast. Chloroplast is the only place, only organelle which is able to capture the energy of the sunlight. After that, that energy is entered into the plants. From the plants, it enters into other animals. From those animals, it enters into another animal, and it sustains all the life forms present on the planet Earth. आपने सुना होगा सूरज के बगैर कोई जिंदगी नहीं है. Because if there is no sunlight, nobody is able to produce energy out of the sunlight. The plants will be dead, and ultimately all the organisms which are dependent on the plants, they will be dead as well. So that is where the life has started. That is where the process, or I must say the most crucial and critical step of life exists, which is called chloroplast. The green color pigment is called as the chlorophyll. Chloroplast also have membranes. Since it's a membranous bounded structure, so you can guess it is only present in the eukaryotic cells. It's not present in prokaryotic cells. It helps in plants to synthesize its food. It helps the plants to create its energy. It helps in the plants to produce glucose or sugar molecules. Out of where? Using carbon dioxide gas in the air and water from the soil. So carbon dioxide gas from the air, water from the soil chemically react together in chloroplast with the help of the green color pigment, which we call as chlorophyll, which help in absorbing the energy present in the sunlight. बहुत खास बात है. सोलर सेल की कोई वैल्यू नहीं है इसके सामने. सोलर सेल जो है ना, वो इसके सामने इंतहाई इनएफिशिएंट है. This is one of the most efficient way of capturing energy present in the sunlight. इस एनर्जी को पकड़ के convert करना into sugar. That process is called as photosynthesis. Once the sugar molecules are created, once the carbohydrates are created, those sugar and carbohydrates can be used to execute the functions of life within the plant cells. Plants creates that many sugar molecules, so many carbohydrate molecules, that they're not only enough for the function of the plants, but they can also store it in the different parts of their body for the other animals. and for the other species and for the rest of the lives we can see. It's a membranous structure. It has folded membranes, lot of membranes, and there is a green color pigment present within these things, and that green color pigment is called as the chlorophyll. That is why plants and the green shoots, they look like green because of this chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is the place where the energy of the sunlight is captured. I'm repeating the process of photosynthesis once again. Using carbon dioxide gas from the air, water from the soil, a chemical reaction is executed within the chambers of the chloroplast with the help of chlorophyll. For that chemical reaction, energy is required, and that energy is harvested from the sunlight. And the thing which is capable of harvesting energy from the sunlight is chlorophyll. So without chlorophyll, that reaction will not be executed. Once that reaction is done, it produces carbohydrates, means glucose, as well as oxygen. Look at the beautiful reaction. It consumes carbon dioxide gas, use the energy which is free from the sunlight, and produces glucose, the energy molecule for all the life forms, as well as oxygen. And that oxygen is then utilized by other plants and other animals as well. Okay, it's very important. The next structure is the Golgi complex. The Golgi complex are like the stacks. I had to see the chats because बार-बार chat pop up हो रही है. आपको भी लिखना नहीं है ये अपना name and ID. I will tell you कब लिखना है, okay? I have to go back and see the chats कि भी कोई message कोई important question आया हो. Stacks, Golgi complex. They are stacks of membranes. Their job is to package and distribute proteins across the cell, outside the cell. The cells are not supposed to create things. They're also supposed to create things and export it for the services and export it for the other cells. When a protein is synthesized, that protein is created on the ribosomes. After that, it is moved and transported through the channels which we call as ER or endoplasmic reticulum to the structures called Golgi bodies or Golgi complex. The Golgi bodies and Golgi complex, they package those molecules, they package those things, they package the proteins into some stacks, and then that stack is ready to be exported out of the cell. The final material the Golgi is created is like stacks, membrane stacks, enclosed and enclosing the sac-like structures. They enclose the proteins which are required to be exported. They're like sending the material to various locations outside the cells. So once the things are created in the ribosomes, entered into the channels, and then from the tips of those channels, they release like a birds. Can you see? They release like sacs and birds. Those sacs and birds, they just left those channels, packaged into membranes, and they are ready for the transportation of that material, of the transportation of those proteins for the other cells. So the job of the Golgi complex is to package material and to transport to the other cells. Okay. The next is the lysosomes and the vacuoles. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so that's it for today. I think